Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the ResistaRope 2-in-1 jump rope. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the ResistaRope 2-in-1 jump rope. What makes this jump rope unique is that it also doubles as a resistance band with handles. It retails for $49.95 on the ResistaRope website and can be purchased in 3 different sizes: small, that comes with an 8-foot long rope; medium, like I have here, which comes with an 8.6-foot long rope; and large, which comes with a 9-foot rope. On top of the rope, you also get the packaging, which I'll show you guys real quick. It comes nicely packaged in this ResistaRope packaging, jump rope, and resistance band. So it shows you what's included on it on the front. And then on the back, it just has a little bit of details on how to use and convert the jump rope, which I'll demonstrate here in a second, so you don't really have to worry about that. But it does give you some illustration. The rope not only allows for smooth jumping, but also ultimate resistance, just a length for increased strength. Portable, workout anywhere, 2-in-1 workout. The inside, nothing too crazy. It does come with some relatively nice packaging. You have that outer sleeve, the inner box that says RR, your no sweat way to get your sweat on, kind of a slogan. They also include a drawstring carrying bag as well that you can use if you want to store your rope in. Now, let's go ahead and break down the details of the rope. I'll start with the actual handles themselves and kind of give you guys my breakdown and experience with this. Now, the first thing is going to be the handles, which are made of a PVC grade plastic. The handles do have a rubberized textured grip, which is nice around the handles. But I do wish that the handles were not made of kind of this cheaper plastic. It would have been nice if they used like a billet aluminum that had a little bit of weight to it. I found that when I was using this jump rope, the handles are so light and the rope is a little bit heavier that it felt kind of unbalanced when you're using it, you know, especially for any type of speed rope type tricks, which I will discuss here about that in a second. But I do feel that the handles feel a little bit on the cheaper side and are kind of plasticky feeling. I do like that rubberized textured grip, and you can see it has a little bit of indentation where those little dots are at. So when you do put your hand on it, it does feel nice when you grip it, but it does feel a little bit cheap on that end. Where it actually connects to the rope is detachable, so you do have this compression fitting that you can release, and then the rope actually slides out. So it's almost like a T-fitting, and it slides in there to show you guys. So that actually can slide out and slide in. So if you want to interchange this with a different length rope, again, this is 8.6 feet. The small is 8 feet and the large is 9 feet. So basically what they do is they tell you to measure your height, and depending on what your height is, it will determine which rope to get. The downside is that this rope is non-adjustable lengthwise. So if you need to adjust the length or shorten it, you'll have to tie knots into the actual rope like I did here. Even though I got mine in medium, which was the recommended length for my height, which I'm 5'8", the rope was still a little bit on the long side. I wanted it shorter because then it works quicker when you're rotating the rope, especially if you're trying to do any type of double unders, crossovers, side to sides. So I did have to shorten the rope on both ends a little bit. I put 2 knots on this side and 1 knot on that side, and that was pretty much the perfect length for me, where the handles were directly underneath my armpits. But again, for the price that you're paying for, basically $50, it would have been nice to have some type of adjustability built into the rope somehow. I mean, you already innovated the handle with the resistance band, kind of tying knots into it just feels a little bit cheap. So I do like, again, that the ends are made of metal and that it has that detachment right there. So I definitely like that. So it's pretty much identical for both ends. The rope itself is going to be a resistance band material. I don't know, and they don't actually have a description on the box or the website on the poundage, if you want to call it. If you go to gyms, they usually have it color coded. I think red is like heavy resistance, yellow is light resistance, and blue is like medium or black. They basically have it color coded, and the red is usually like the thicker resistance band, and it's a lot harder to pull on. I would say that this is probably like right in the middle, like a blue resistance band. So it's good enough to really give yourself a good workout, especially if you're doing any kind of curling movement, any type of lateral movement. So if you want to work on that, if you put it under your feet and you work on like lunges or whatnot, squats, you could definitely do that with this resistance band in terms of the type of resistance it gives you. At the very bottom, I also like the fact that they put this plastic piece at the very bottom. I think there's an actual name for it that they call it. It's on their website, but it's basically just this plastic coil piece. It kind of reminds me of an old phone cord that they put on the bottom. What that does is it prevents the resistance band from getting damaged over time or overuse and wearing out. So you have this plastic piece, which is what's going to actually hit the floor when you're jumping with this rope, and prevents the actual resistance band from getting damaged. So I definitely love the fact that they put on there to give you a little bit of extra protection for your rope. So you do have that. Now when it comes to the handles itself, it's fairly easy to convert this to a resistance band. If you're using this for a jump rope, all you have to do is basically just pull on the end and this snaps out of place. And then you can see that the nylon strap is attached to this end. And then on this side, you have a little channel, and that's where the actual nylon strap is hiding. And you basically pull it out of that channel, drop this other end, and this is what's going to turn this into a handle. So now from there, I flip that down, and now you have a resistance band handle. So you can basically go on the fly from jumping rope to basically using this as a resistance band. And again, I'd say it's medium in terms of tension, good enough for high repetition type workouts. I mean, if you're using this for boxing, I think it's perfect. Obviously with boxing, you're not trying to get big muscles and reduce your flexibility and speed. You're working on explosiveness. So I think this is really good for that in terms of tension. You can work high reps and still get a good workout in, regardless of what muscle group you're working on. And I do like this handle. One thing I did find was the end of the handle on this one cracked a little bit. But I had a buddy of mine that does like plastic repairs. So he was actually able to repair this, and it pretty much looks brand new and seamless. But again, I think that's just kind of the weak point with this is going to be this plastic handle just feeling a little bit on the cheaper side. Now, when you want to go back to using this as a jump rope, all you have to do is basically slide the nylon back into the channel, the strap back into the channel, and then pull on this end, and then basically line this little knob up top into place, and just make sure that the nylon strap is on the inside. You get it into place like that, and then from here you can just push down and kind of pull at the same time, or just push down on it, make sure that this is in the channel, and then it just clicks into place, and then you just kind of pull on this handle, and basically the handle kind of stays concealed on the inside right there. So now everything is seamless, and then you can go back to using this as a jump rope. Now, as far as the performance of a jump rope, this to me is more like a weighted rope. It's not a speed rope. If you're trying to do, like a lot of double unders, really fast movements, a lot of quick tricks with this, I don't feel like this is the type of rope that excels at that. I have a regular PVC rope that I can really do a lot of like double unders, crossovers, and I had a really hard time doing it with this rope just because the handles are so light, and then the rope is a little bit heavier. To me, this is like a 1 pound weighted jump rope. The pros to that, the advantage to that type of rope is that if you want something more weighted and you really want to work on your conditioning, especially for your deltoids, for your shoulder muscles, and you really want to get a good workout and really get your heart rate up, then you'll definitely get it with this rope compared to a speed rope that has a skinnier rope that's much more lighter, and you can really get a lot of revolutions in. So to me, again, this is more of a heavier jump rope. The other thing with this rope is because of the weight, again, doing double unders, side to side movements a lot harder, and because it is made of that resistance band material, it does have some stretchability to it. So what I noticed is that if I was doing double unders or really fast movements, you can actually feel the rope kind of expand just a little bit, because as you're swinging it, it's forcing the resistance band to kind of pull out a little bit as you're swinging it. It's not like a PVC rope or a stainless rope with that's epoxy coated to where there's no stretching to it. It's just one solid piece of metal, or even the PVC plastic where it's just a solid piece. There's no stretch to it. So with those, you can go as fast as you want and it stays nice and rigid in terms of the rope itself. With this, because it's resistance band material, if you're going really fast with it and you're really putting a lot of power into the swings, you'll notice that it has a little bit of a flex to it, a slight flex, because of that resistance band material. So again, that's just something to keep in mind. For me personally, this is a good weighted rope. I do like the ability to convert it to a resistance band to use. I just feel like the execution of the rope could have been better with the handles, especially the adjustability of it, and not going with plastic, especially at the price point at $50. I think it's a great idea, especially for those of you that maybe train at home, or you train on your own. Maybe you go to a gym that doesn't have jump ropes, or maybe they don't have resistance bands, which is probably going to be pretty rare to find a gym that doesn't have resistance bands. But if you don't, then at least you have it with this. The flip side to that is if you go to a traditional gym that has jump ropes and resistance bands already, you may not find the need for this, because by the time you convert the handles over, you can just reach to the wall and grab a resistance band of the resistance that you need, whether it's red, yellow, or blue, and that's just much more quicker for you to do that. So that's kind of the drawback with this, is that yes, there's a novelty to it, and there's definitely the ability to switch back from rope to the resistance band, but some people may just have their favorite jump rope already, and then they just might pack an additional resistance band in their bag. So you're kind of competing against that. So overall, it's a solid rope. I definitely think there's a couple opportunities to improve it. I just don't think it's quite there yet. I like the idea of it. If they can just make a couple of improvements to this and refine it, make it where you can adjust it, and give you a couple more options in terms of length. Maybe make the handles out of a billet aluminum. Then I think at that point you know, we'd be definitely onto something. But you have to make it to where people are gonna wanna drop their traditional jump rope, and maybe they even have a resistance band and jump onto something like that. And you really have to you make a product that's gonna make them wanna do that. And I don't think that's quite there yet, but it's almost there. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys zoom down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this ResistaRope 2-in-1 jump rope. I'll see you guys later. Peace.